Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the car boot crafter, and I'm coming on a couple of things really. One is a VR and the other is a collab. So let me tell you. So Alex over at A Bullet for My Snail Mail, and I'll link her channel below. She's having a giveaway. Is she wants you to send us an ATC and something you enjoy crafting. You've got until the 12th of May, but she just wants you to send an ATC, something you enjoy crafting, and she's not stipulated what it has to be, just something you enjoy making. So I'll link Alex's channel below. But while I was going through Alex's channel, she's also done the 5 must-have items collab hosted by Crafty Sue at 519, and she only went and tagged me in it, didn't she? so so yeah, my challenge is to show you 5 must-have items that I need on my craft table before I can start crafting. So I went through and I was like, do I talk about my sticky pad? Do I talk about my punches? Do I talk about my rubber and pencil sharpener? What do I talk about? So I thought, what do I absolutely need on my desk or close to hand to start crafting? Well, the first thing I always have is, and this is not within my 5, but because they're not actually crafty items, but I have to have snacks. I have to have snacks in the craft room and a drink, usually water, and sometimes if hubby's feeling up to it, a nice cup of coffee. But I have to have snacks. Sometimes they're healthy, not all the time. Sometimes, more often than not, they're biscuits, crisps and chocolate, which I keep in the craft room. But once once I've got my snacks and my drink, what crafty items do I have to have close to hand? Well, the first thing I have to have is my glues. So I love my glues, and I've got all sorts, mainly wet glues. I do have double-sided tapes and stuff like that, but first things I reach for are these glues. And to be honest, there could be any glue in here whatsoever. And sometimes there's several different glues in there, just because I've reached to whatever's to hand and topped them up. But I love these little pots because they've got a really fine nozzle on the end, so I can really control the glue that comes out. And I think most people know that I love wet glue. Much rather use wet glue than the double-sided tapes, because you can reposition if you need to, and I always have to reposition. And the other thing I love about these is that I was gifted these 2 bottle stops. So this one was my first one, and I think it came from Roz over at Crafting with Roz. And this one I think came from Amber Kintyre Crafts. So Amber over at Amber Kintyre Crafts. If I'm wrong, because I have had them a few years, if I'm wrong, I really do apologise. Don't want to offend anyone, but that's the names that come to mind with them. So I think that's where they came from. And it's nice to have a little bit of glitz and glamour on the table in front of you as well when you're crafting. So, and they're really useful as well, because it means that, you know, my glue doesn't get all bunged up. So there's that. Then one of my other favourite things to craft with is this. So this is a, what's it called? Cuttlebug. Forgot for a minute there. Cuttlebug die cutting and embossing machine. And as you can see, these are the original plates, and they are probably well past their sell-by date, but I do keep them because, well, one, because I love this machine, but I have got replacement plates, and they are scratched, but they're not scratched from being used in the embossing machine. They are scratched from being in the craft room and not being used in the embossing machine. But this was gifted to me after so I had a really close friend, and it's filthy actually, it needs a good clean, I've just noticed. I had a really good friend, Dawn, who we met first day at reception class, going back a few years, and our mums became best friends, we were best friends, we grew up together, holidays together, days out as families, and unfortunately in 2014 she passed away from breast cancer. And one of the things that she said was, did I want all of her crafting stuff? Because she was a prolific crafter as well, all the way I mean, I came into crafting sort of later on. She's been drawing and creating and crafting all her life. So yeah, so this is one of my favourite things, and one of the reasons I can't get rid of those plates, because I think even if I do swap them out, even if they break, I think I'll still keep them. But also the Cuttlebug is brilliant because you've got this deep one as well that you can use to, on those deeper dies. I can't remember what they're called, but you know, the really thick dies come in a plate, they could go through almost anything. So you can use those on this die cutting machine as well, and it will, having looked at it now, it will now get a little bit of TLC after I finish the video. Definitely needs a blooming good clean and dust down. But it's a working piece of equipment. So there's that. One of my other favourite things as well is my scoreboards, and I have well, I've got 4 regular scoreboards. There's these, and I've also got, if I can grab it, I've got a huge big score as well from Crafter's Companion. But I've also got my little one, which is fabulous for when I just need to do something quick and it's only a little project. I've got my adorable scoreboard, which has got all of the 1/8 of an inch and all 1/4 of an inch and all sorts in, which is brilliant. But my absolute favourite is my hoogie board, and again this is probably more to do with Dawn than anything else, but I treated myself to a hoogie board years and years ago, when I first started crafting. And then when Dawn passed away, she had a hoogie board as well, which came within the boxes and boxes of stuff that her husband brought down to me about a year after she passed. And so you've got the hoogie board and the score tool. So I gave my hoogie board to my daughter, who is also a crafter, and kept Dawn's board. So yeah, so this is my favourite, probably because of that, but also because these are 1/2 an inch, and I often jump out of the channels. So with my adorable scoreable ones, if I jump out, sometimes you don't even notice and you carry on scoring in the wrong. But with this one, if you jump out, then you usually come onto a bit that's not got any channels in, and you can just find your way back in. So that's another reason why I love the hoogie board. One of my other great loves is my collection, and I've got a few more, but I've put a couple of them down. I can't find them, but they're around somewhere. They're here somewhere. So yeah, so these, I love a score tool, but this one is my absolute favourite one. This one came with the adorable scoreable board, but I love it because it does everything. It's comfortable in your hand, but it's also thin enough that you can use it, you know, a bit like a ball tool. in the channels, you can get a really good crisp score with it. You can score your paper, reinforce your folds with your paper with it really easily. I mean, something like this you can't really use because it's too wide as a scoring tool. It's really a paper folder. This one has got some elements of it, but it's not really big enough for folding paper. This one I love. It was Dawn's, but it's a bit too bendy for me. And then these two, well, I've got a few more of these actually. I think I've got 4 or 5 of these in total, but they're no good for actually, you know, creasing down your paper when you do your folds. So that's the next one of my favourites. So glue, scoreboards, scoring tools, embossing machine. Oh, and the last one is my cutter. Now I have, like most people, probably got too many trimmers and cutters and goodness knows what. What I love about this, it was probably one of the first trimmers or cutters that I ever bought, and it's not particularly for crafting. It's probably more for office than crafting, but it just does the job. It just does everything I want and need it to do. I get some really good measurements on there. It's a self sharpening blade, so every time I bring it down it self sharpens. I picked it up for £3 at a car boot sale years and years and years ago, and it's just a power horse. It does everything I want. It goes through most papers. It even goes through some chipboards and stuff, and it just does everything I need it to. Whereas some of my other ones, especially the ones, the trimmers with the little replaceable blades, gosh, they annoy me, because within, you know, using it a handful of times, your paper starts to get that fuzzy edge on it, and you're having to replace the blades again, and that really annoys me. And some of my other machines or cutters, they don't really seem to be as accurate as this one. The only thing I would change with this is in centimetres and most of my crafting's in inches. So that's the only thing that I would change. And I keep saying I'm going to go to IKEA and get one of those paper rulers and stick it down on there, but I've yet to do it. But yeah, so that's my 5 crafty must-have items, and I'm sure I could go on. I could do 10, could do 20. There's loads of stuff that we all have that we love, I'm sure. So there you go. There's so I must have snacks, I must have my glue, I must have my paper cutter, my guillotine, I must have my bone folders and scoring tool, must have my scoreboards before I can do any crafts. So thanks for the nomination, Alex. Really appreciate that. So it's my turn to nominate some people as well, isn't it? So here we go. So Bex Crafts, Andrea the Cumbrian Crafter, and Amber Kintyre Crafts. I dare you to do a video with your hashtag 5 must-have items. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.